It feels so good to be here. This is kind of my stage, and I've been here for last 1.5 years, and it's so homely. I mean, to be here in front of all you. But 16th of January, it might be a very regular, good, cheerful evening for all of you at SPJIMR here. But for me, it's an anniversary, a 10-year-old anniversary, where I lost my best friend, my grandfather, my dadu. Probably at the same time, standing here, he died because of paralytic attacks. That being said, he was a man from partition. He came with probably a bag full of clothes, an ailing wife, and aging parents, trying to figure out from Lahore where to settle in India, figuring out resources, friends, and family connections to see if somebody can help. Found someone in Chandigarh who helped. Started investing into businesses and everything. Slowly grew. A person I'm so connected for that as soon as I used to come from school, I used to keep my bag down and rush to his room. Sit with him. As I mentioned, last 3 years of his was mostly spent, on the bed and in his room because of paralysis. And that being said, he had the right side of the body non-functionable and the left side of the body which he used to do the chores and the regular work. He used to walk slowly. That is one act of his I still, remember. He used to walk slowly with the help of support, go to the washroom, pick up that razor, the trimmer, the razor, look at it, remove the lid, keep it back. From the left hand, open the tap slowly, hands shivering, fumbling. Pick up the razor again, put it under water, put it back, close the tap again. Pick up the shaving foam, put it on face, keep the shaving foam, open the water, take some in hand, dab it on face, and close the tap again. Now, why I tell you this, for you it might sound very normal because we tell our friends and family that, we teach our kids that while you're brushing, close the tap, you don't need, when you're bathing, just, when you're bathing using soap, close the water tap. It's very normal. But what's differentiated in my story is that this was the time 12 years ago when sustainability wasn't even a buzzword or a corporate boardroom meeting. And he was at a condition where nobody would have questioned him, even if those few extra droplets were left running. But there might be something going in his brain, no? Maybe he was thinking about you and me, the future generation, or maybe he knew the value of resources which he didn't had earlier. I was growing in Kanpur for most of the time. I mean, Kanpur is then famous for a lot of things. One is, yes, but then it's a very vibrant city, and we are considered one of the most happy people, across the world. But that being said, it was in the top 10 polluted cities of the world during my growth. And I was born with growth hormone deficiency. It's a problem in which doctors diagnosed and told that my height would not increase beyond 4 feet and 8 inches. My parents were shattered, scared, started to figuring out solutions, where to go, where to look for. Figured out that some research and some medical equipments have come in, wherein if I start injecting myself with growth hormones every single day twice, I can grow up till 5'7", 5'8". Of course, as a parent, they had to take that step. They were concerned. They wanted me to grow high, and all viable things. But the repercussions and the side effects were huge. I didn't have control over my attitude, my nature, my responses. I started developing mild dyslexic issues, like, let's say, if there's a question paper and I read 68 on it, in the answer sheet I might write 86. I was well grown enough to understand that I'm making these mistakes, but beyond my control. Second side effect was that I started multiplying my weight. I grew to 100 plus kgs. I was considered obese level 3. Now, that being said, these issues taught me the first learning of sustainability. that if you meddle with anything, let it be your body, let it be your business, let it be your society or environment, meddle too much, there will be repercussions in which you'll have to work more and more on it. And that is when I understood that sustainability is something where you make it futuristic and more believable and livable. Second learning. Few years later, in 2019, I was completing my bachelor's in business administration from Christ, Bangalore. My dad has a very successful wedding photography business. In fact, so much so that in Kanpur, it is synonymous to a successful marriage. So it said, like, if you get photography from Vaho Photos, your marriage will be successful. Although I have live examples where they weren't. But then it was so synonymous that my dad wanted me to join that business post my undergrad. So what he did as a genuine father and a caring father is that he invested a huge chunk of his savings and taken quite some corpus and amount on debt to invest into new units of our photography stores. 2020 was a time of unexpected scenarios. Nobody knew what's coming up, and sudden lockdown happened. All of us were at home. 4 units of ours all closed. Fixed investment, fixed expenses were always running. The debt taken had to be repaid. And we started to eat out of our pockets. Although the situation wasn't that bad that we could have fumbled, but then eating out of our pockets was not something we thought of. And I, as a young graduate from Christ and all those things, Bachelor of Business Administration, I wanted to start something of my own then, so that I can help the family. You see, the motive was only profit. We have respectable people who's like Prachi. Her motive was planet, people, and then later profit. But in my case, it was only profit. Now that profit made me start to research. What should I do? How can I make money at home? What can I invest in? Do I want fixed income or do I want to take risk? And in the middle of this research, I came up with 2 numbers, 2 facts. Those 2 facts were that in the world we live in, 70% of the fresh water is only used for agriculture. And in India, it is 80 to 83%. Second number was that in the last 40 years, we've consumed the arable land and the agricultural land, 1/3 of it, 1/3 of the agricultural land. So we don't have time. But these 2 numbers didn't mean so much to me, but I was again thinking from a business point of view. I understood that there's something called hydroponics and indoor vertical farming, way ahead of its time. It's a word now we've been using every day and night, but in India, very less people were doing it. In fact, in Uttar Pradesh, nobody was doing it. Did my research, reached out to people in US, UK, Europe, connected with few mentors in India who knew agriculture as a thing, and I was completely out of that scope. I didn't know anything. So when I worked on it, I realized that it's a business model which saves up to 90% of water, as well as it doesn't use any soil, the top layer of the soil. I can grow crops literally from clay pots and cocoa peat, which is again recycled and reused used coconut. But that gave me the second learning of my life, that profit and sustainability can go together, no? You're right, when investors find people who use AI and sustainable things in their business models and in their business pitches, they're right. Because my products were sold because they were sustainable and people were relating to it. Third part. When I was done with the business and I came here, I realized that I wanted to be a consultant and things like that. But I realized that people are scared of the future. In fact, a study says that 77% of the people are scared that the future is not good and the world might come to an end. 55% of the people think humanity is doomed. And 33% of the people don't want to have kids now. So as a generation, because I connect with you all, I want to understand that why are we already scared of the future? There are live examples like Japan, there are live examples like north of China who without fresh water have been able to multiply their agriculture and be net positive in agriculture. So as I have 8 seconds, I want to end it in a way asking all of you here, do we want to be the last generation to survive, or do we want to be the first generation to revive? And thank you. That's my time.